It is nothing to do with his peer review work. It is his philosophical position that he have about a subject that he is not an expert in. So to refer to Max Planck is a false appeal to authority, and you're misusing his position as a scholar and attempting to make that statement seem as if it was an academic statement. That is the fallacious nature of what you're trying to do. And you can't get around that. First of all, it's a philosophical question he's answering in an interview. It's not as if this comes out of his peer review work or is a hypothesis that he has. Secondly, it is not his discipline. It is not his discipline. So when he says that, it is his philosophical position. To use Max Planck as a quote unquote authority outside of his field is one, fallacious. Number two, that even if it was within his field, if it's not peer reviewed and subject to that process, it's simply his opinion. So to interject that in the conversation is again fundamentally fallacious. What you are attempting to do with this.
No, again, I disagree with what you're saying. Max Planck made that statement because I mean, okay, let's all agree that Planck is the so-called father of he's the father of quantum physics, right? We all agree with that, right? And so he studied nature on its most uh, on the quantum level, right? And so when he started thinking about, well, why do we even have the quanta? Why do we even have it? How does quanta get here? He said, well, hey, it must be consciousness. And then all the quanta comes from this consciousness. It's derivative. Yeah, yes, yeah. You could say that it's philosophical at the time
Okay,
because
that's it.
you could say that, but
All right,
but that doesn't take
okay,
away from what he was talking about.
okay. So where's the peer review work? Where's his hypothesis?
He didn't. He made the statement.
Okay, thank
He
you.
made the
So
statement
again,
based off of he
doing
made the
that,
statement based
doing what you're doing,
off of his
doing exactly
understanding
what you're
of
doing
quantum
right now,
physics.
doing what you're doing exactly right now is what is the fallacious nature. Again, you're doubling down on doing exactly what I say you can't do. There's no paper, right? He was just speaking philosophically, right? There is no work that you can see to corroborate this as his hypothesis or as his hard scientific position. So you're referring to him. He does not study consciousness. He does not
You,
study emergent properties of the
you're
mind.
acting as if he don't believe
Stop.
this.
He does not study this discipline. So when he's giving that singular personal opinion to for you to interject it in a conversation that is grounded in methodological naturalism is disingenuous and fallacious. Okay, we're
You're
moving
acting.
on. Babylon done, you got the floor. Babylon done. You got the floor, my brother. New meta language, metalingo. Babylon done. Going once, going twice. Babylon done. Calling on Babylon done.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Don't stop clowning, bro.
There
Hey,
you
check
go.
it out. Check it out, Cedric. Since you said you want to pick up where we left off, I think I said Cedric is dumb as fuck. For what I said you was dumb as fuck in the chat. You remember?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. As long did you
Wh-
hit the like button?
Why did I say you were dumb though?
I would have no clue. I'm not a psychiatrist. I am not a
You see
psych.
why I call you dumb? Because I said the reason why I call you dumb, but you don't even know why. But yeah, you
No,
talking
well,
about
no,
me.
I'm not busy with the chat. I'm hosting a show. Now you got the opportunity to clarify your position. Why would I try to
Okay, let's
put a
not bicker.
minefield?
Okay, let's not bicker and back and forth. I just came on here to clear up a couple of things. The next thing I want to clear up is Cedric, why do you keep saying stupid stuff like Night Train and Thunderbird? Do you
Because
know
I
me,
don't
bro?
drink. I don't drink. Anyway, but you is that the reason why you call me dumb? Because I don't drink and you sound like a drunk? That's on you, not me.
No, I'm saying, I ain't call you no, I ain't did none of that yet. What I'm saying,
You see the right there. That's why I call you drunk.
You
You
can't
Man,
just
talk,
threaten me with the
Josh.
evidence in
Man,
real time.
why invite people up if you're not
So
gonna let
you
them
don't
talk?
sound
exactly, man. This
you
nigga
don't
just
sound
talk
dumb.
forever.
You
He
sound
kissed
retarded.
birds.
So
He got antivirus or something. There's something wrong with his brain. Yeah.
now you're the one that sound dumb as fuck. Don't
Cedric,
you
I
think?
wish you would make
Cedric,
fun of somebody and make like somebody
let the guy
stutter,
talk.
bro. You ain't
Why do you
nowhere
invite
near
people
as
up if you're afraid to
articulate as
talk
me.
to them?
You
Wow,
stupid
this is ridiculous.
Dumbo. What the hell are you talking about? He trying to make like I'm stuttering, like he more articulate than me. You dumb man, stop, bro. You gonna make me say the wrong thing. The next thing,
I
Cedric,
have that much
listen,
influence over
Cedric,
you.
shut up,
Do
man.
I control
God,
your
leave,
emotional
bro.
state of
If you
mind? Say
invite
what?
people up here, they gotta finish a
Man, you gotta
sentence.
let them talk
Yeah,
if you're gonna invite them
you
up
God
here.
gotta
What's
say
damn,
a
wrong?
man.
What's
sentence.
the problem?
Say a sentence.
What the hell is going on?
Say a
But
sentence.
anyway, Cedric, you sound like you be drinking. Matter of fact, you sound like Pookie on New Jack City. Like you
Yeah,
be doing some crack or something. For
is
real.
that
You
it?
sure you with
Uh-huh.
I mean, for real. So
Is
stop
that
playing with me,
it?
bro. I don't have to do that. Now,
But
this what I
I
want to
don't
say,
need to
Cedric.
clown
This
with
what I
you.
want to
You
say.
are being a clown all by yourself. Look at you.
I,
You got
I'm,
the foot
I'm,
to floor and
I'm,
you're
I'm,
making a complete jackass of yourself. Go ahead. Continue.
Cedric, shut up then.
Yes,
Shut up
yes.
then. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let you continue making
Shut
ass
up.
of
Let me
yourself. Go
finish.
right ahead. Go
Shut
ahead.
up. Let me finish.
I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm vegan.
I don't care.
You eat
You
swine.
should get some protein.
You eat swine.
Get
You eat
some
swine.
protein. You sure about
You
that?
smoke cigarettes.
You sure
I
about
don't
that?
smoke
No?
cigarettes.
Oh,
So
You
really?
drink
is
Good.
alcohol.
Thank you.
I
is
don't
this
drink
gonna be
alcohol.
about?
It's a
Is
big
that
What's this
difference
is
about?
that the
between me
best
and you,
you
and that's why
is
you keep
that the
cutting me
best
off.
you got?
But I'm gonna let you
Wait
talk.
a minute, wait a minute, wait a
What
minute,
what's
wait a
what's
minute.
your point,
I'm gonna let you
Babylon? What
talk
you
in
trying
just
to
a
do?
second. No, no, it's okay, it's okay. See, I wanted him up here to show that he has no depth. He can't add anything coherent to the conversation, right? So he was calling me a dumb effer. Now he's up here and proving that is exactly what he is. So now everybody don't get nervous. It's Babylon dumb. Like I brought him up here so he can make a complete idiot of himself, and he's doing a great job of it. So, is that your best contribution to the conversation, or do you have anything coherent to add, or you gonna
Okay.
continue to demonstrate that you're drunk?
Okay, now if you shut the fuck up, then I can finish because you interrupted me to say that stupid shit. Now let me finish.
No, so
On
now I'm
the,
gonna interrupt you again because the
oh,
next
go
time you
ahead,
get to
go
speak,
ahead.
you just have to start speaking from where you're gonna explain. The moment you try to do this, all this drama thing again, I'm gonna show you how much authority and power I have. See, I'm the dumb motherfucker who has the controls. I'm gonna
Hmm.
cut you off anytime I feel like. I'm gonna clown you. You see, I brought you up here, and you're doing exactly what you always do. You guys have the intellectual capacity of a flea, and you allow me to ragdoll you and clown you as I please. So when you come off mute, you're going to demonstrate that you can actually give a coherent conversation without talking about me cutting you off or any of that because it's my show. I'm in authority position. I get to cut you off. So the next time you come off mute, which is going to be in 1 second, you start by making your contribution. Right? So Babylon done, you got the flow again. Watch if you can do that. Let's go.
My contribution to the people is never let nobody make a fool of you. Never let anybody
Wait,
tell you
wait a
that they
minute.
got
So
authority over
I'm
you.
doing that. Wait a minute. I'm doing that
This is
right
my
now. I'm
contribution.
making a complete fool of you. Like it doesn't cost any energy. It doesn't cost any power. I cut you off when I feel like I got you up here looking stupid. You're on the center stage. Whenever you open your mouth, say something stupid, you got to get cut off. It's that easy. Huh? It's that easy. Oh,
He doesn't get to come back.
thank you, Juju.
He's gone because you can't
Yeah,
let
he.
people come in here and keep cursing, disrespecting our channel. We trying to do some things, and I don't care what it is. You can't tolerate that. Once he starts cursing, he's disrespecting enough. He gotta go. That's how it is. We're not doing that. It can't be no shit show. You feel me? That's not productive. That's
Thank
not
you.
productive.
Yeah, facts,
So yeah,
Juju.
you can
All
go on
right.
with that. We don't care nothing about none of that you got to say, Babylon. That's your personal gripe with Cedric. And quite honestly, we don't care, bro.
Yeah,
But to come in our
exactly.
house and disrespect us, like, that's crazy. You don't do that nowhere else on nobody else's platform. So, nah.
That's how you
Y'all
make a
can
complete and
continue.
total idiot of yourself and prove why you do not get any respect and you're called Babylon dumb. All right. So, Al, you got the flow, bro. Let's hear what you're
We
saying.
also can get a strike for that. So you need to be very careful.
Continue,
Hey,
Al.
what up? What he said? How you doing this evening?
I'm good, bro.
Hello, panel. Shout out Juju, Anthony, Gary, and Ronald. I hope everybody doing all right tonight. Shout out Titans Debate League, where I'm from. I was just coming up. I caught the last part of the show. When I came in, I saw that y'all was talking about the Big Bang, and so I didn't catch it. And then when I came up to catch up, y'all started a new stream, and then it got a little coherent just the last second ago. So I'm kind of lost, but I think you was conversating with Anthony Bowman on the last show right before it closed. So if you want to finish that, maybe I can catch back up and I'll reply later, because right now I said I ain't gonna even lie, my mind's so shit because I don't even know what nobody was talking about with what Babylon just did. uh, and
Yeah,
I
don't
caught the
bring that
show.
up no more. We don't know either. Just y'all continue with the show despite that mess. Don't bring it up, please.
Yeah, fam. I appreciate you coming through, Ali, and shout out to the Titans Debate League. Shout out. But yeah, we were just discussing, the evidence that we have for what we know about the Big Bang. That was basically what the show was all about. You know what I'm saying? And we brought in, well, actually I did, because there's a lot. I'm hearing a lot of chatter about consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And the universe is like supposedly, I guess, this ultimate consciousness. And that's just not what the evidence shows. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what the show was about, the Big Bang. We moved it towards the consciousness thing. And then, to not muddy up the information that we presented, we decided to move the stream to hit the button show. But that's basically what it was, fam. We laid out the evidence that we have. We're gonna build on that evidence. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna build on it, and in future shows, starting on Tuesday, we'll build on it and get to more in depth about the Big Bang. So that's where we're going with it. If that makes sense to you, hopefully that can get you caught up to where we're at now.
Oh
So
yeah.
don't want to give any kind of credence to what just happened, but that's basically how we got to where we are today. I mean, where we are right now, fam.
Oh, okay. So y'all was talking about the Big Bang, and it ended up with consciousness, if the universe was conscious or not.
Yeah, and I threw that part in there to so our crowd won't get caught in that what I call foolishness. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal opinion of it. But I don't know of any scientists that I don't know of, and I follow quite a few, but there's no consensus stating that anybody believes that the universe is conscious or has a conscience. They're natural forces at work. And we say it all the time on this channel. The phenomenon itself is the authority in what we observe in the universe. You know what I'm saying? The universe isn't thinking, the universe doesn't feel. You know what I'm saying? There's no evidence to support that in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Gotcha. All right. I agree with you there. I believe that consciousness is emergent downstream from the event that we talk about, as we call the Big Bang. Consciousness, the consciousness that we have and that we use in our existence is a downstream consciousness. It's not the universe. It emerges just like all things emerge. And so that's what I believe without going too deep. If y'all gonna have another show later, a couple of days, I'd like to be a part of that too. But that's a wonderful conversation. I don't know what they disagreed with that. Was anybody who disagreed with that? I think Ronald,
Yes,
I'm gonna give
somebody
the
I
said
floor
it
to
was.
disagree.
Gary. I'm gonna give
I,
the floor to Gary.
I disagree with
Uh,
Gotcha.
that.
All right. Thank you,
Ron
said.
had Ron. You're right in the wheelhouse of the methodological naturalist, my brother. So, where that is concerned, yeah, you're on the right side of history.
Yeah, and
Gary, you got the floor.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll talk or answer any questions, but to what Al was talking about, yes, there is the Hoffman guy. He thinks that the consciousness came before the universe began. So there are, you know, that there's that discussion, but that's not been proven. But there's people who believe in that.
There are scientists that believe it, right?
No, but
Just
that's just a
Hoffman.
back.
Hoffman is a
That's a
scientist.
that's
Hoffman
a
is a
back
scientist.
door to slide in your creator. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
Hoffman is a
That's a
scientist.
trap.
Anthony,
That's a
Hoffman
trap
is a
door, though,
scientist.
Ron. That's a trap door.
It's not a trap door. He's a scientist.
It
Ron, Ron,
it's
Ron,
hold on, say it.
Ron,
Hold on, say it.
Ron. Go
Hold on.
ahead. Yeah.
We gonna you can get him in a minute. Hold on one second. The thing about it though, Ron, is we deal with the consensus. He may have said it. That's his personal belief, which he's entitled to. We all are. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, posterior got in there. It's called what? Pony psychism. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying that right.
And panpsychism.
And psych, you see it, but that's for me, that's his personal opinion, and he's entitled to that. But that's not in his work. That's not his work, and it's definitely not the consensus. It's most definitely not that. And you know how we are, Ron. When we talking about science, we deal with the consensus, bro. You know what I'm saying? And when it come down to consciousness, like I said earlier in the show, that's welcome to the human experience, fam. Because everybody got one. So is consciousness, is that the soul? Or, is that your awareness? As I think that was Gould put in the chat in the other show. I mean, the consciousness could be the human experience. We're experiencing things in our daily reality. We all hear that little voice in our head. Everybody hears that. Some people refer that to God. You know what I'm saying? But we all have that feeling in our gut in certain things. We all do. That's the human experience, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. Like I said, I don't know of any scientists that or better yet, or consensus that makes that statement. I mean, I don't know of. So if you can show me a consensus on the issue, then you got me. I can look into it. But until then, Ron, I can't. I'm
And
not.
just because the scientist, so that's like Newton. Newton was a brilliant physicist and scientist, but he also believed in the Bible and predicted the world was going to end like in 2040 or 2060. So just because Newton made the statement that the world was going to end in 2060 has nothing to do with what he did as a physicist with his laws of motion and whatever. So that's the same with Hoffman. Just because he said something doesn't mean that it was true.
That's different. What you're talking about, Newton to Hoffman. Hoffman is actually a neuroscientist. I mean, we all agree with that, right? And he says
No,
that
what I'm saying is you can't base what you're saying is because
you ain't
Hoffman
let
is
me
a
finish.
scientist
You
and
ain't
he
let me
made a
finish.
statement that has to be true.
How about
And
let me
what I'm
finish before you
saying is
interrupt?
Newton did the same thing where he was a respected scientist and made a statement of when the world was going to end, but we all know that ain't true. So that's what you're trying to do with Hoffman.
That's not what I'm trying to do with Hoffman. I'm stating that Hoffman, as a neuroscientist, says very clearly that consciousness is fundamental and that everything in reality comes from consciousness, that it is
Okay,
fundamental.
Hoffman
And
says that.
he
Okay.
says why. He says why he
All right,
says that.
Hoffman says it. Okay. Does he have any experiments? Does he have any data? Can he support it? No, he's making a claim. His claim, it doesn't become valid because it is Andy Hoffman. His claim is just as that. It's a claim.
Donald
It's
Hoffman.
no fact. It is not supported by data. It is not supported by the consensus. He doesn't actually have any peer review work to this effect. He has a hypothesis that it relies on a theorem, a mathematical theorem. The mathematical theorem is an abstraction. It is not grounded in anything physical. So the theorem that he uses to support his unsupported claim is just that, a claim. And when we're having these conversations, to continuously tell me what one man says, okay, why? Because he's a neuroscientist? Okay. Oh, okay. Where's the data? You don't have any? Okay. So come back when you have some. To continuously do the same exact thing after having this conversation, it is not going anywhere. His hypothesis is not testable. It is an arbitrary claim. He's supported by a theorem. The theorem itself is an abstraction. We understand where Hoffman is. What we don't understand is why you insist on just telling us what one individual thinks. It's irrelevant to the overall discussion. There is no data, there is no consensus, there is nothing supporting his hypothesis, if you can call it that.
It's just an
Yeah,
opinion, Ed. It's
yeah,
just
but
an
it's,
opinion.
No, he has a theory. He actually has a theory. It's
hold
not
on,
not
Ron.
an opinion.
I want to know. I want to. What up, Sam? What up, Anthony?
What's
Wait,
happening,
wait a minute.
Fabio?
Sabio, why are you getting it? Why are you jumping in like that? He
Well,
has.
let them.
Let me
Let's
finish.
let the other. Let's let
I
the
have,
other
I have
people get
questions
in,
for the
dog. Let's let
accent.
them get in
The
for a
accent
minute.
chat.
Let
Yeah,
them wait.
Samuel more of a pseudo killer than you is.
Then I is or then I am.
So,
You ain't a pseudo
Sid,
killer.
That I is. Okay.
what is
Savior, you
consciousness?
got the floor. Go ahead, Savior.
Anyway, go ahead, Sabio.
Go
What
ahead,
is
Savior.
what is consciousness before life?
Good
What is
question.
conscience before life? Who
That's a
knows?
mood statement.
You answer that question. Who knows
It's a mood
before
statement.
life?
No,
That's like
you the one who
asking
said it.
that's
You
like
said it
asking
though,
what's before time.
Ali.
I said it's
Hold on, man.
fundamental. I said it's
Ali,
fundamental.
you said it. Ali, you said it. So I need you to tell us
I said it's
what
fundamental.
consciousness
What does fundamental
before life.
mean?
No. Don't answer. Don't ask me no questions. Tell us what consciousness is before life.
It's fundamental.
Nothing.
I'm answering your question. It's fundamental.
Ain't nothing. That's
It's
crazy. That's
fundamental.
crazy. That's crazy. You hit it with that crazy that question,
Fundamental.
Samuel. I'm gonna get into that. So I'm gonna let you rock though.
I just
You
answered.
want
It's
to play
fundamental.
game. You don't understand that I read part of his thesis, his little thing that he printed out. I read part of it. I didn't read it all because it was too much pseudo babble.
Pseudo to you, you mean?
So when Ron says fundamental and he repeats it, that illustrates the arbitrary nature of his proposition. He cannot
That's
support
why
why
I was
it
gonna
is
say
or which
Every
mechanism
theory
it
starts with an
operates. Don't do
arbitrary
that,
statement.
Ron. Ron, if you do it one more time, that's it, you're gone. I mean it.
What,
Don't do it.
Cedric?
Don't do it. Bye.
Hey, can I
Yeah,
say something? Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
go ahead,
Savior.
go. And
Go ahead,
shout
Color.
out to you, fam, for that presentation yesterday. That was
Yeah,
something,
man.
that boy.
Right on,
Appreciate
bro.
that, Color.
I want to say, if y'all looking for like consciousness outside of life, like you're not gonna find nothing, no data. Like I don't know, like you looking in the wrong place. Because
Consciousness comes out is a phenomenon within biology. You know what I'm saying? Neuroscience and biology, you know. And it's a mechanism or trait, you know what I'm saying, used for animals, you know what I'm saying, including humans, you know what I'm saying, to process data and you know what I'm saying, and react to certain, you know what I'm saying, for certain behaviors. So like, you know what I'm saying, if you don't have biology, if you have a brain, or you don't have an organism called a brain or organism with a brain, you don't have no consciousness, or you can't even talk about no consciousness. Consciousness comes out of biology, and it's a byproduct of biology. It ain't nothing, no stars, none of that have no consciousness, which is ridiculous. We talking about neuroscience and biology. So if you talking about something in the cosmos and all that for consciousness, it's pseudo, yeah. It's philosophy. You ain't talk about nothing. If it ain't got no
Because
brain, or it don't have a brain or a central nervous system, we don't need to be talking about no consciousness.
at this point, Gullah, rocks are conscious.
Yeah. And I think it was Preem said it. Preem said it best yesterday. You know, since you mentioned the rock, there, Sabio, it's like if you throw a rock and the rock decide it don't want to leave your hand. You know what I'm saying? That,
Right.
you know, that's not what we see in nature.
And whatever consciousness is, whatever that phenomenon is evolutionary, which is biological.
Yep. That's it. Jose Francis, you got the flow.
Great point, Gullah.
Good night, Cedric. Good night to the panel.
Good night, good night. What's up, my brother? What's on
If
your
I
mind?
if I
That's
was
some
to ask
Caribbean
throwing my
stuff right there.
175-pound body around like it's a whale. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
if I was to
first of
ask
all,
you,
you don't isolate one pseudo killer on the panel. You either greet each individual or you say shout out to the pseudo killers.
Nah, let him do what he want. We don't want to be controlling. He ain't no
I
he's
pseudo.
talking
mean,
to.
I
You feel
mean,
me?
you
You
got
see
Cedric,
what
Juju, you got
Cedric,
Anthony, you got
come on, Cedric,
you got Gary,
I
you got
I don't
apologize. I
care.
didn't know you was up here, sis.
Cedric, come on.
I didn't know you was up here, sis. I apologize. I really did. I thought you had
No,
dropped
I
off.
don't be caring.
all
But
right,
go
Jose,
ahead.
you got the floor. Go
Let me just
ahead.
ask you a question. If I was to ask you the scientific definition of consciousness, what would you tell me?
An emergent property of the brain or in the mind.
That's exactly what I would tell you. An emerging property of the brain.
Okay, so if we talk to the universe and the universe doesn't answer, then we're going to say it's not conscious, right?
Huh?
Can you
If we
speak up
talk
a
to the
little bit?
universe,
You're rather muffled.
And
if we
talk
if we
and talk
talk to
at
the
a slower
universe and the
pace.
universe can't answer, then we're going to say it's not conscious, right? If I talk to Cedric and say you were Cedric, he'll answer. If I say
I'm
Cedric is
trying
not
to
at the
hear you. I
number.
can't hear you, my brother.
I said if I was to talk to the universe and the universe does not answer, then we would say the universe is not conscious, correct? Whereas if I speak to anyone on the panel, they can answer me and make
It's
I
the
mean,
universe.
coherent
wait,
statements.
wait, wait, wait.
It's the universe biological.
Yeah,
Say it again, I didn't hear
yeah.
you.
Go ahead, Gullah, I guess.
I was asking if the universe biological. Is the universe a living organism with a brain, organs, and all that? Do it have cells? If the universe have cells and it's a living organism or some type of taxon, we don't need to be talking about no consciousness at all. It's ridiculous.
But before that, everything that has consciousness, all living things don't talk. Also, not they communicate, but don't necessarily talk. So
Right.
that would be a
Fair,
problem too.
That's
Does
a
my
fair
dog
statement.
talk back
That's
to
a fair
me?
statement.
Wait a
But if I
minute,
talk
just
to a
want
dog,
to
that's a fair
go
statement.
ahead.
But if I talk to a dog can respond in some way, even though it doesn't. I can't understand
So
what it's saying. I can tell it to sit or
actually,
stay, and it can respond.
no. If you go
So
to a
we
dog
communicate
trainer,
with animals, but talking is a stretch. So
why y'all keep
let's
cutting me off?
use communication. Oh, sorry.
No,
Yes,
no, I didn't say
this is
Damn,
talk.
nature.
I said if you
why
talk.
y'all keep
I said
cutting
if you.
me off? No, if you
Sorry. Go
go
ahead.
to a dog trainer, I don't know about Cedric, but when I go to dog trainers, they tell you quickly that your dogs don't understand English. Like, they go off of other cues. You communicate with your dog off of cues and learn behavior. Do you understand? It's not like they understand you're talking. You may think that, but
Signaling.
Well,
signal.
Not quite accurate.
but what I'm saying is, you get a response.
But
If
you
the
also
person
have a hand. If
understands the
you're doing
condition or
it
not.
properly, you also have a hand motion with that sit. You know,
Right,
well, it depends, I guess, over time.
but the dog can
They're not
respond
gonna
to what
talk
you're
back.
saying, right? But it can respond to what you're saying,
He
right?
was-
Even though it doesn't talk, it can respond.
Yes, they
I
respond to
mean,
you. They respond. Yes, they respond. Yes.
Right. So because the universe doesn't
if
respond,
they're
then it's not
trained,
alive.
they're gonna respond. If they're not trained, they're gonna do what they want to. I mean, what's your point?
Agreed, but the dog can still respond. The universe doesn't respond to people.
Respond
So
to you talking to them or respond to a command? Let's be
They're,
very
they're
specific. And
responding
stop
to
letting him get away
stimuli.
with the bit
no,
BS. Cedric.
if you tell a
You
dog to
train
sit,
animals. Come
it
on.
will sit, right?
Yeah. I mean, a fruit
But
fly, a
I'm
fruit,
trying to answer, but I'm
a
cutting
fruit,
off, so I'm gonna stick with him.
Come on,
Come
guys.
on. If
Come on,
it's
one mic.
trained to respond to that
So
command.
what?
exactly. A fruit fly, any insect, if you swat at it, it's gonna move. It's gonna get out the way. That's
Exactly.
true.
They're
That's not.
responding to stimuli. So animals have a sense of awareness. They're responding to stimuli. Do not do the slow walk thing, Jose. Just go straight to the point, because the slow walk thing will create unnecessary confusion, because not everybody gonna be able to follow where you're leading.
Nah,
Yeah.
let them slow walk it, but I don't want you to let them get away with the
No, you don't
BS.
need the confusion though.
Like,
I don't need the confusion.
like
I
an
never
So yes.
animal,
said
Oh my
So
God.
I
dog
never
ain't
animals
said
just
that
gonna
respond
animals
to
understand
respond
the
stimuli.
Guys,
language, but
to
they
you
can't
The
saying
respond.
sit
humans
or
respond to
whatnot if it
stimuli. Yeah.
doesn't know. I just wish we stopped talking over each other, please.
yeah, me too, man.
All right, leave. Y'all got it.
I'm just simply saying part of being conscious is to be able to respond to outside stimuli. Simple as that. If the
But you
universe
said
does,
talk.
I don't think I used the word specifically talk. I did say respond, but I didn't say
You
specific.
said talk specifically.
Well, if I said that, then let me correct myself. Part of consciousness is being able to respond to the outside stimuli, because everything doesn't talk clearly, but you have to be able to respond to outside stimuli if you're conscious.
I can understand where you're coming from, bro. I
So,
can understand that.
so if the universe doesn't respond, then we're going to say it's not conscious, but it clearly is alive. Would you agree with that, or is that a stretch in my mind?
I don't know what
Say
y'all
that
agree
again.
No, I'm asking.
No,
But why would?
He is rallying.
No,
He's
I don't
herding
agree
y'all
that the
into
universe
a
is
rabbit
alive.
hole.
I don't agree with that.
Why would it respond? You do the universe have a central nervous system?
yeah.
I
I mean,
I
I
would
don't agree with
necessarily
that.
say that.
That's
No,
not my
I can't
fundamental
say that.
point.
Okay,
But it does
okay
produce
then.
That's
life.
not
But it
my
does
fundamental
produce
point
life,
is
though.
different.
That's connected to consciousness. Nerve endings in the central nervous system is connected to consciousness and neurons. So what are we
I don't
talking
know.
about the
No,
universe?
no
I
argument there,
disagree
Zara.
because I'm.
But the
Wait a
universe
minute.
does produce life.
Wait a minute. I disagree because I'm under impression that consciousness occurs in the mind, not the brain. And we know that the brain is for allostasis, right? And the awareness part is consciousness.
Exactly. But you need a brain to get there, though. You
yes,
got the brain,
you don't
the
get
brain has to
consciousness
evolve.
without the brain. The brain
Yeah, the
produces
brain has to
consciousness
evolve before
because
you get
Duh.
there.
consciousness is an emergent
Duh.
property of brain.
yeah.
Yeah,
Without
I
a
said
brain,
that
you do not
earlier.
get a mind.
I said
Mind
that
is
earlier, but
consciousness; those are synonymous. So, in
do
brain,
all
mind is an emergent property of matter. There is no, there is no awareness without a physical, biological entity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
There's
finish.
nothing beyond that.
But the
Okay,
fundamental question
I'm
is
gonna
whether
finish my
consciousness
point.
is fundamental, yes or
Oh my
no.
God, can I not be heard?
I didn't know you were talking. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Bella cut me off, then Cedric started talking.
Okay.
Like, what are we doing? It's irritating
My bad.
because y'all gotta slow walk this or he gonna bury y'all with the idiocracy. First
No,
of all, some animals don't have brain capacity as humans also. So are we saying that all living things have a consciousness?
Yes. Consciousness in biology is simple. It's simple. It just means to be alive, to have nervous. It don't have to be as complex as a human.
So we're not talking about the same consciousness. Are we talking
Yeah,
about
there's only one
physical?
consciousness. There's biological consciousness, and it has varying degrees. You can have awareness without having a brain. For example, a jellyfish has a neural network,
Is
but
that
it's aware.
consciousness?
It is aware of its environment.
Is
Yes,
that
that is consciousness.
consciousness?
Yes, it is consciousness.
So a single cell
Consciousness is awareness.
organism, a single cell organism is conscious.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, why is it unfortunate?
Why?
Come on.
Because it has a single cell, and we have
So
been.
anything that responds
Get
to
out of here.
stimuli is considered conscious.
Yes.
Yes,
All right.
Yes.
You
that's
don't got to
real
get
talk.
upset. I'm asking the questions
Man,
for everybody because everybody don't know that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
yeah, the question
I'm one
is
of
whether or
those
not
that didn't know. But here's what I do know: the universe is not conscious. I do know that much.
that's not my point either. My point is whether or not consciousness is fundamental.
What is fundamental? Define fundamental.
Fundamental means it was there from it was there from the beginning.
Now, observe
Fundamental is
how.
the base. It's
Yes. So
basic.
now it was there
It's
from
basic.
which beginning? What's the beginning? The beginning of what?
I just
Define
told
the
you.
beginning.
Reality. I'm saying that reality comes from consciousness. So it's fundamental. When
So
you say you
you're
say
saying
reality, when you say reality is fundamental, right?
the
You say
singularity
consciousness
is
is emergent.
consciousness. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So when you posit these things, they have consequences. So the singularity that you define as consciousness.
I don't define the singularity as consciousness.
What is fundamental to space-time?
Consciousness. I just said it.
How do you demonstrate that?
Right.
Yeah. And this is why I like
How do
Hoffman's work.
can you demonstrate that?
No, this is why I like Hoffman's work, right?
Can you demonstrate that? Can you demonstrate it? No,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. No,
No,
it's
it
not.
cannot
No.
be demonstrated.
He-
So it is an arbitrary claim because you
Cedric.
just
all
state
theories,
fundamental,
all
but
theories start with a
you cannot
hypothesis.
demonstrate that.
All
Cedric.
theories start with a hypothesis.
Drake,
Do
your
you
turn.
agree or
Don't
not
do that.
agree?
Don't do that. Don't do that. You either have the patience to wait or you don't. Don't do it. No,
Well, I wanted to
again.
go off of what the brother was saying. That's all.
Didn't I just say, man, don't do that.
Finna get worse.
So now
Yeah.
he telling me, he giving me an explanation why he did what I just told him not to do. Y'all don't have parents. Y'all didn't grow up with a father because my dad would have smacked you just for even uttering another statement. It's irrelevant why you made the statement. I told you don't do it. It's that simple. You people have no discipline whatsoever. That's why I know you're not educated. Because I just told you don't do it. The reason why you did what I asked you not to do is completely irrelevant. I don't give a shit. Don't do it. And then you proceed to do exactly what I told you not to do to explain why you did what I told you not to do. This is the level of intelligence that I cannot contemplate. It just makes no goddamn sense.
Hey, Cedric, lower your heart rate a little bit, man. It wasn't
There
that
you go.
serious.
Authoritarianism. Where's that
My
coming
heart rate
from?
is high, right? Boom. That's it. Easy. Watch. I don't have to worry about my heart rate. If you don't have the discipline, I don't have to worry about my heart rate. I just put you out. Simple. I'm dealing with the nonsense. Let's stay right here, Ron.
I'd like to ask another question. Are we confusing some living animals having consciousness with sentient?
Nope.
Boom. Yes, you are.
Yeah, you're right.
Living
What you
things
said.
are
Yeah,
Yeah,
sentient.
you're right.
you get conscious at a certain complexity. Like you could be, sentient is sentient, but certain more complex organisms have more of a conscious and more awareness. You have levels of awareness. Even when you say conscious, like you know what I'm saying, like conscious of what? Because even like different organisms might have a different perspective in their reality. The human reality ain't the only reality. You know what I'm saying?
So what I asked is, do all living things have consciousness? And y'all verbatimly said yes. But what I'm getting is that some have consciousness and some are sentient. That's different. Okay.
So
So
you
let's
define consciousness
be
as
on point,
self-awareness?
bro.
As
Yeah,
self-awareness? Where's the cutoff
symphony is
point?
like proto consciousness, basically, because consciousness comes out of that before it gets more complex.
So when I use the word consciousness, I'm not using it
I'm not talking about proto consciousness.
I'm not using it synonymous with proto consciousness or sentience. I'm using it as the awareness and responding to stimuli
In your environment, yes.
in
Yeah,
your
yeah, because like what I was saying earlier, like whatever it is evolutionary. So it didn't start off as like, you know what I'm saying, like complex consciousness and awareness. It started off as sentient.
That's it. The first single cell organism was sentient and conscious because it responded. It was alive and it responded to the stimuli in its environment to continue to replicate itself.
Like a fruit fly. The fruit fly is the first animal ever, like recently, for its
Replicate.
total, you know what I'm saying, brain to be mapped out. You know what I'm saying? Like even that, you know what I'm saying, it's a level of consciousness even within that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the first single cell organism had to
So
be.
the distinction that Juju is making is self-awareness
Yeah.
versus sensitivity. When we're having a conversation, we're usually having it about sensitivity primarily and not necessarily self-awareness. That is to varying degrees. However, yes, in the colloquial sense, when people say consciousness, they're referring to degrees of self-awareness versus the overall sensitivity and stimuli to environment. But when we're having these type of discussions, we usually refer to consciousness in its most basic form, which is the response to stimuli and the engagement with your environment for survival.
So it goes back to the analogy that a rock has consciousness, if that's what we're saying, because we can make a rock respond to stimuli by throwing it. Does that mean a rock is conscious? Because
No, the
No,
rocket,
and
Nobody's saying
respond.
that.
the rock itself isn't responding to stimuli. It
Come
is
on,
it
man.
is acting. It is acting. It is responding to the
so, but
forces
I
being
mean,
acted upon.
okay, so when the earthquake happens,
No, no,
Nobody's
that
saying that.
no,
Nobody.
no.
Come on.
So so
The,
no.
the only question I have
that's
is
what I'm
whether
saying. But
consciousness is
see,
fundamental, yes or no.
So you're asking
but
whether
I'm
consciousness
no,
is
no,
fundamental,
consciousness
and it
is not
simply
fundamental.
isn't to reality. Space-time does not require our awareness to exist. Space-time operates and reacts based on the four fundamental forces. Anthony and all the work we've been doing explicitly illustrates that there is no desire, there's no intent within within or how nature operates. Nature operates predictable, right? We can calculate and determine the outcome because of understanding how nature operates. It does not operate on based on agency or causality, based on agency, right? So to make that claim or to even raise that question is a philosophical one that is arbitrary, is metaphysical. It is not grounded in anything that is fundamental. Why? Because we understand that the awareness from which we are asking these questions is an emergent property. So you're going round and round in a circle because even from a philosophical premise, it is not grounded.
I'm not talking about philosophical. I'm talking about a scientific theory. Hoffman's theory is scientific.
All
Would you
right.
not agree?
What was
No,
it backed by?
no, it wasn't. No, it
What was
isn't
it backed
scientific.
by? What was it
No,
backed by?
no. So no, we don't need to ask any questions. You
Mathematics.
ask, do I agree? No, it is not a scientific theory. And the fact that you don't understand why it's not a scientific theory, even a scientific hypothesis, it's not even that. If you don't understand that, Ron, then again, do you need to go back and watch the history of science, the philosophy of science, and maybe you'll get grounded in some fundamental principles. But Now you're just a hamster on the wheel, and you're going round and round and round and round. And I think you're just attempting to see how long you can do this until you frustrate someone.
No, I'm not trying to frustrate you. I'm talking to the rest of the panel as well, panelists
But
as
Ron,
well. So
I
So
not
think
you.
it's
again,
more or less his opinion, Ron. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah,
his opinion.
but he's written a scientific paper. He has a theory that's been peer reviewed.
But the thing about it is that the theory that's been peer reviewed, not just something else he was working on. Just because he had, it's like you can get Neil deGrasse Tyson on here, but if it's something that he's not astute in, he's gonna sound pseudo in it. You know what I'm saying? So just because he did great work in astrophysics doesn't make him a great chemist or a great violinist or whatever the case may be. He's a great astrophysicist. Now, with the Hoffman cat, I'm not too familiar with him because I don't do the that's not my lane. But I do know and understand that there's a consensus. And just because one person said it, no matter what kind of accolades he have, that point can be way off the rails. That's just what it is. And that's what this sounds like. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know where we going with that,
And
but
Ron says because the paper is published means it's peer review. No, that means it passed through an editorial process. That means the linguistics are correct. That means the format is correct, and then it gets published. With regards to peer review, his work has been completely and utterly dismissed as fringe, right? So again, based on what the consensus says, his work is considered fringe. He has no actual data to support his work. He has a theorem, a mathematical theorem that is hypothetical. It is not rooted in anything empirical. Now we keep going over and over saying the same things. It is at this point, it is just your ignorance is on display. You keep making it seem as if it is scientific, and no, it's not. So it
No,
being
what you're saying
published
is that it's not. You're saying
it
what he's
was
saying is not
published
reasonable.
means that it fits the journal format. The peer review that took place has rendered his work fringe. And why it is fringe? Because it is not rooted in anything empirical. So we know what the field thinks about Hoffman's work. Now, why insist on interjecting a fringe individual in the conversation when there's nothing to substantiate his individual position? Now, regurgitating
You,
an individual's position is a false appeal to authority. You're referring to his credentials, you're referring to him as an individual in this conversation while we're dealing with the consensus. That, in and of itself, is a false appeal to authority.
why did
you're saying
none
it's
of Hoffman,
fringe.
hold on, Ron. Why did none of Hoffman theories ever or hypothesis ever pass the smell test?
What do you mean smell test? They don't.
Why
Why are you
did they
saying that?
ever, why weren't they ever taught at the college, high school, college level?
What do you
Because his
mean?
work
Why
has been rendered
People, there are a
fringe.
lot of people who
why
there.
is it
His work
why
is
is it that
fringe.
why is it that people are learning about Hoffman from you?
They're not learning about it from me. Hoffman has been around for a long time. What are you talking about?
His
Just because you
work
don't know
is
about him doesn't mean
fringe.
he
That's why
hasn't
his
been
work is
around.
not
I
taught.
just heard I
That's
just
why
heard
he doesn't
Anthony
have any
Bowman.
actual journal work. He doesn't have
He does have journal
any
work.
I
he
just heard
doesn't have
He
Anthony
has
any
papers
Bowman.
actual
published.
data. What he has a couple of journal entries, and these are in questionable journals at best. Next
I,
to
What?
that,
How can you
his
say
work
this?
has been rendered fringe. So,
It's
Sabio,
not
it's not
fringe.
going to
It's
be taught
controversial.
anywhere.
It's not
Like
fringe. It's
that question
controversial.
is rhetorical. It's
It's
rhetorical.
controversial. It's
It
not
It's,
I just
fringe.
it's
heard
not
work
a
You're
has
saying
Anthony
been
it's
Bowman.
fringe.
rendered
Ron, Ron,
fringe.
Ron. I just heard Anthony Bowman distinctly say he.
let Cedric finish, please. Golly. And I'm after
So
Cedric, then you can go,
that's
Fabio.
why his work is not going to be taught anywhere. It's not going to be in any type of college work. Being in a journal doesn't mean that's the end all be all. Again, once his work was reviewed, it was rendered fringe, controversial at best, and fringe at worst. There's no data actually supporting his work. His hypothesis is not even considered a hypothesis because there's no data there. There's nothing supporting it. He has a mathematical theorem that is an abstraction. That's it. It is not scientific in the least. It is not a theory. It doesn't even qualify as a hypothesis. So why do Ron insist on doing this is beyond me at this point. You
So
got something?
yeah, so I'm gonna go back to when somebody said it's just like Einstein, or Ron said no, it's not. Yes, it is, because Einstein had all that hoopla behind, his good stuff. We use the good stuff. Most people don't even know about the stuff that didn't fit into the framework of science. It's
I
the
mean,
same
Newton.
thing. It's going to be the same thing with Hoffman. What he did that fit into the framework of science will live to tell the story. What he didn't, people won't even remember unless they read some expert on him in 100 years. You feel me? It's the same thing, bro.
No,
Yeah,
let me tell you. Let me tell you why I think it's different. Can I?
it doesn't live in the framework of science. It has not
Yeah,
been. It's not falsifiable.
yeah,
Is it falsifiable? Has
yeah,
anybody? Is it
yeah. No,
falsifiable?
he's made.
Explain how it's falsifiable.
Yeah,
Go
this is
ahead. Explain. You know what it means
Hoffman.
when I
Yes, I
say
do.
falsifiable?
Yes, I
What I mean
do.
when I say falsifiable?
Yeah,
Just for the audience.
yeah.
What I mean when I say
Falsifiable means that it can be proven to be incorrect.
yeah.
So he can.
Also can be replicated.
So what he's. But he
Wait,
says out of his mouth.
wait,
That's
wait,
why.
wait,
That's why he.
Ron. Let me get this in. Also can be replicated. Somebody
Yeah,
else
it can
can
replicate. Yeah, okay,
replicate.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. But I
So
agree with
so
you.
it's got to be
So
falsifiable and it's got to be able to be replicated. Okay.
that's true, and that's why
All right.
Hoffman,
Go ahead.
Hoffman as a scientist, Juju, he would agree with you 1,000% that his work has to be tested, it has to be falsifiable. That's why he's willing to put it out there for other scientists to review. He's not. It's not like it's not 100% like the Newton argument that I heard from I think Anthony or Gullah or somebody, or maybe it was Gary who made that statement.
I actually said that in the chat. Gary brung it up because
Yeah,
that's how
it's a
that's
good.
how we would see it,
But that's not.
because
But that's not exactly the same because Newton had these two frameworks. One was science, right, where he talked about his laws of motion. The other one was his religious bent. What was published was his scientific work. I mean, we like you said, we don't know very much
not
about. We don't know,
all of
even
it
though
was published.
he wrote more about religion.
Right, and a lot of it was published. Okay, it
Yeah, but I'm
just
saying,
didn't.
but it's not.
It
We
just
don't know
didn't
it
follow him
You
into the
don't know
exactly,
future.
about you
exactly,
haven't
exactly.
It
But
didn't follow him into.
You got a name drop to throw
Can I
shade.
finish?
yeah, but what I'm
Can I
saying is that
finish? Can I finish? I'll let
yes.
you go after I'm done, Gullah.
No, I was talking to you somebody. He was being slick, name dropping like ain't nobody catch that.
What do you, Gala? Stop being so sensitive. What's
Hey,
wrong?
don't hey,
Stop
Ron,
being
don't play with
sensitive.
me, bro. Just don't play with me, bro. Don't play with me, bro. I ain't
I'm
get
not
my
trying to play
Let,
with
opinion.
you.
let,
Stop
let
being.
Juju
I mean, I'm not
finish
even
out.
thinking
Let
about
Juju
you.
Yeah,
finish out.
man.
Okay.
Ron, just
Ron. Stop the antagonizing.
Shout out to the Chimp Wars. Y'all need to go watch the Chimp Wars. It was
Yeah, let's go
powerful
watch
last
Chip
night. That
Wars.
was dope. Yeah, Gullah Orlando Catarini did an awesome presentation on the Chimp Wars. So y'all all need to go watch that. That show
Yeah.
should get 1,000 views. That was really
I
good.
appreciate
All
y'all
our
support,
shows
man.
should get
I
1,000
appreciate
views.
it.
Yeah. I enjoyed that because that's something I really don't understand, and and it's hard for me to get, and you made me understand it. Just like astrophysics with Anthony. So thank you. Got another notch on my belt, another infinity ring. Um, but Ron, don't you think that to him, Hoffman is not trying to make this like? Don't you think he's working through it? Maybe he's realizing that it's an um it, maybe he thinks it's just an emergent property. Like he really doesn't have any evidence on it, right? He really can't pinpoint it, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't think it's emergent. He thinks it's fundamental.
Yeah,
He thinks reality is emergent.
yeah,
Opposite of
that's weird
what
to
you're
me
saying.
because you know what? That's getting out of science and that's getting into some philosophical stuff. You feel me?
I understand what you're saying,
Not
Juju,
it's not
but that's not
it's not it's
he's a
not on
scientist
the
though.
verge of science because I don't know.
No, he's a scientist. He says precisely what you're saying. That
So
if he's going to use let me finish first. He says that if you're going to take him serious, then he has to prove that reality comes from consciousness, which is why he put together a theory. He wrote papers. He put it out for peer review. He's made predictions. All of these things, and I mean, this guy is
So
he's taken the scientific route, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like
I got one
sometimes
more
you guys
thing,
are
y'all.
dismissing him because because
Yeah,
because
it's not dismissing Ron. I'm sorry to cut you off. But again, like Anthony say, we only communicate what the experts can provide that's proven, right? Because we're not experts. We're not scientists. We just communicate the science. You understand?
I understand.
So we only want to communicate those things that are proven. Now, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I think we decided we may do a show on theoretical concepts and just have fun with it. But you know, like they're hard to manage because when you talk about theoretical, it's nothing concrete with it. You feel me? We can only explore and we'll never reach a destination because it isn't one yet. You get what I'm saying?
I do,
So
and that's really the issue
yeah,
because nobody has proven that consciousness is even emergent. That's not been
right.
proven,
I
right?
mean,
Has
so
that been
I don't.
proven?
And from what I read from scientific papers, consciousness is an emergent property. Am I wrong?
Nobody's ever proven that.
That's a hard fact at this point.
Oh,
From
I thought
way
so.
I thought I
Yeah,
was next.
it's just somebody's view.
You
From
you gonna be
Phileas
next,
Gage, yeah,
Sabio. I'm sorry. Thank you.
From Phileas Gage back in the day, the late 1800s, we began to understand that there is a connection between mind and brain. Now with modern
Right.
neuroscience, we are actually mapping these activities. Again,
Facts.
um, um, what the exact mechanism is,
You got it next, Sabio.
we
Go
don't
ahead.
know yet, but neuroscience and clinical psychology are the areas that are examining and studying this, which makes it methodological naturalism, which makes the mind and consciousness an emergent property of physical matter, right? So
Yeah.
to speculate at this point in time, Ron, is simply disingenuous.
No, I just asked the question: has it been
That's the
proven?
No, it's an emergent property.
No,
They still working on
So,
it. Emergent
no.
property.
He's
all
saying it's an
right,
emergent
all right,
property,
Ron,
as if
Ron,
that's a
Yeah.
fact.
So
Ron.
they're still work finding out stuff. Go ahead, Sabio.
So this is what a quick Google search should bring you if you ask, how is consciousness defined? Consciousness is broadly defined as the state of being aware of one's surroundings, internal states, and existence. At its core, it is the subjective, experiential aspect of the mind, an emergent property of the brain and the mind working in unison, the continuous feeling of what it is like to be you, encompassing thoughts, perceptions, and emotions. Because it bridges multiple disciplines, its definition is approached from a few distinct perspectives: general and medical definition, subjective experience, any internal sensation, feeling, or perception. If a stimulus feels like something, it involves consciousness. Clinical, medical, assessed via arousal, wakefulness, and awareness, responsiveness to the environment and self. Neuroscience and biology. Neuroscientists investigate the physical basis of subjective experience, known as the neural correlates of consciousness, NCC. It is viewed as an evolutionary survival mechanism. By mapping the body's internal balance, homeostasis, against external realities, the brain creates an integrated model of the world that drives decision making. The widely cited global workspace theory suggests consciousness acts as a mental theater, integrating various brain inputs into a centralized conscious stream. Philosophy of mind. Philosophers categorize consciousness based on what it actually does and feels like. Phenomenology, also called qualia. I don't know if you're aware of this word.
Yeah, that's the hard part. The hard
Keep
part.
rambling right there, Qualia. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into all of that in the philosophy of mind series.
The raw subjective feel of an experience, such as the redness of a rose or the sharp throb of a pain, access consciousness. The mind's ability to manipulate, retrieve, and use information, such as memories or reasoning, to guide behavior. I'ma stop.
Yeah, that's why I said it's biological and evolutionary. You know, it's a paper I'm reading. I ain't finished reading it, but so far what I read, it was saying it's a connection. It's a connection with consciousness, especially with the vertebrae. You know what I'm saying? The vertebrae, especially with their complex nervous, you know what I'm saying, central nervous system, you know, and their spines. With other exceptions, but like the octopus was not a vertebrae, and they have a very complex, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, brain function. They even have neurons in their tentacles. So that's being studied, you know what I'm saying, too. You know what I'm saying, the brain of a neural activity of an octopus, which is not a vertebrae.
Understood. I'm still not on that boat though. I need some scientific papers that say that all living things have consciousness. I'm not on that because I'm seeing some other things. That's all I'm saying. I'm you know, I'm not saying nobody's wrong. I don't know enough, but you know,
well, I'm thinking more or less.
I'm a skeptic.
I'm thinking more or less and I feel you, Gullah, the animate part of, you know, life. You know, I wouldn't necessarily equate that to like a plant or nothing like that. But, you know, if you look in the animal kingdom, I mean, take for instance a lion. When they hunt, they know that they have to get so close, you know, a certain distance from their prey, or they just going to be wasting their time. They won't, you know, that the chances of catching the prey are going to decrease. You know what I'm saying? They are aware of that.
They're aware of
surroundings. You know what I'm saying? So I would go as far to say is that consciousness depends on, you know, an animate life in the animate form, or what is that what they call it? Animated, you know. I think that's right. That's why they call animals animals.
Yeah, animated.
Physical form of animated.
Yeah. So it's basically, from my perspective, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but in its simplest form, it's just your awareness of your surroundings. You know, you understanding what's happening around you. You're able to make decisions on what's happening around you. And you know what I'm saying? It's basically awareness.
Because even when you get to like simple organisms, like the certain single cell organisms, sea cucumbers, sponges, and you know what I'm saying, coral and all that, that's more sentient things. You know what I'm saying? Things, you know what I'm saying? But consciousness comes out of that. That's the archaic consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Until you get more complex creatures, complex organisms. Even like I said, like the chimp was last night. Like that wasn't nothing that was from instinct. That was planned, calculated, drawn out. You know what I'm saying, on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, but you know, Sabio read a very long, drawn-out definition of consciousness.
It was not long and drawn out,
and
so that's why there's a problem. That's why there's a problem.
Finish.
No, I'm not letting you finish, because those type of statements are disingenuous. I'm gonna cut you off because he didn't read a long and drawn out statement. What he read was an academically sound position clarifying the different positions and the different understandings. Now, you didn't take your time, Ron, to actually engage with what he's saying because you want to again go and repeat the same thing you just said, being on the hamster wheel. Watch, you're going to say the exact same thing you've been saying, nothing different. You're not going
Yeah,
to engage with what he said.
yeah.
You're just going to dismiss it and go back to, well, Andy's a scientist.
No, I
Watch.
don't want. I don't want to engage. I can't engage in a definition.
Yeah,
Look,
Exactly. You
I asked
need
this
to
question.
accept the
I'm asking this
definitions,
question.
see them.
Is it
Okay.
emergent?
So
Is
this means,
consciousness
but
emergent or not?
yes, it is an emergent property.
Has that been
Just
proven?
like,
Yes or no?
yes,
Has that been proven? Yes
oh,
or
yes,
no?
it is proven.
It
Yes, it
has
is an
not been
established
proven.
fact.
You're
It
making
is
that
an
up.
established fact.
but
We are
You're making that
understanding
up.
how the mechanisms work. We are understanding and mapping how these interactions work, but by means of neuroscience. But the fact that we are mapping a brain stimuli. So you're asked to do a specific task,
Yeah.
and they check which areas of the brain light up. You're asked to recall a specific memory. All these things are part of your awareness, and they are examining which part of the brain light up. The fact that neuroscience exists is already an establishment that we are studying the mind from an aspect of materialism, physicalism, which is the brain. Stop it. At this point, you're just being a jackass.
No, I'm not. I'm
Said,
being. I'm
said,
taking the
No,
side. I'm
no,
taking the
I'm not.
side
Because you
of.
say no, I'm not. Go watch
Hey,
hamster wheel. Keep on the hamster wheel.
as Siri said, I will say this.
You guys
My bad.
talking over each other.
I'm just gonna say something just real quick. Uh, what Juju said, like some stuff you'll look up, like it'd be real human centric. Like you'll find certain content, it'd be talking about consciousness, but it's only talking about human consciousness. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's like a lot of that stuff is like they
Right.
trying to. That's more physical. Like what they call it uh
Philosophy.
like
Yeah,
philosophy.
philosophy of mind. Yeah.
That's more
Philosophy of mind is surely and squarely
yeah.
focused on
Facts,
human
fella.
consciousness.
But when you want to get into like the real studies, like the actual like scientific
Science.
studies
Yeah, science.
of like consciousness, they talk about biology and neuroscience.
Yes.
Facts.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, said the
And
rock.
I think
I
that's
just
the
want to say this.
overall confusion, though. I just want to say that. So I think
I just
people
Good
like,
confusion. Good
wait a
confusion.
minute, real quick, Sabio. I think like when I'm looking up consciousness, I'm looking up what science says about consciousness. Like I'm putting that in the search bar. You feel me? Scientific article on consciousness, not philosophical, right? So it can sort out the difference. Because I don't want to hear about no. I
Can
know
I
about
can I say can I
philosophy of
say something?
consciousness and stuff.
hold on
I don't
real
want to
quick.
hear that. I got questions and I want them answered with a scientific answer. You feel me? Or thought. That's all. Go ahead.
Well,
So all I want,
emergent. No, yeah,
hold on real
no,
quick,
you
hold on,
already done
hey
said
bro,
something,
hey bro,
Speedo.
hey
I just got to
bro,
say
hey
something real quick.
bro,
Hold
hey
on, I
bro.
just got to
Let
say
me
one
finish.
thing real quick.
Nah,
Emergent
let me
is a philosophical word.
go.
Y'all,
Here we
emergent is
go.
actually a philosophical word.
Here we
That's
go.
emergent is a philosophical framework.
So again, thank you for the non sequitur comment.
Wait, it is also
What?
scientific. Wait. It's also scientific. You have strong emergence and weak emergence.
Bingo. That's why it was a non sequitur comment. Thank you though.
It
No,
wasn't
it's
a non
not. It's
sequitur
not non
comment.
sequitur. Stop
It
it.
wasn't a non sequitur comment. You're a
Stop
non
it.
sequitur.
I
Who said
I
it?
did.
This
bringing
straight,
it
this straight, this straight call itself the owl. 'Cause the owl has a pretty small. The owl actually has a pretty small brain. Like in the animal kingdom, the owls ain't like they're not really smart.
No, you didn't do that. I'm done. It's a joke because Gullah do animals, so it's
You're
no big
right,
deal,
though.
Ollie.
He's right.
But that's what I'm saying when we're looking up consciousness. It's the same thing. It's probably a definition, a philosophical definition. It can also be a scientific definition, but they have two distinct meanings. Okay. And that's why you have to be very careful when you're looking up words that can overlap both philosophically and scientifically, because we know that some of these thoughts started in philosophy. Okay, we know that. Even
Okay,
when we're
that
dealing with,
And
I'm gonna
that's what
finish.
and
I'm
that's
gonna
what I was
finish
going into,
my
Juju.
comment. Y'all gotta let me finish. It's
Yeah,
not
finish.
fair. Jesus. Especially when you're dealing like with free will. I'm gonna use that, not saying it has been totally what proven with science, but however, science is making some strides in something that was once considered totally philosophical, right? And I will use my favorite telltale, and that is ACEs, acquired childhood experiences. If y'all don't know what that is, you can look it up. That's why I'm a hard determinist, because ACEs shows you how your life can be determined by things that you may or may not be aware of. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know if y'all overall get that, but it does
I
make
am right
sense.
there with you, Juju.
You
can
feel
I say
me?
something?
We in
I'm
the
sorry. I thought
determinist
you was
camp.
through.
I've
I
been
thought you
getting
was through.
interrupted. I've been getting cut off and been told to
Go ahead,
wait.
Fabio, and then you can go, Ali. But what I'm saying is be careful how you're looking up a word that may have some overlaps. It's the same with consciousness, and it could be the same with emergence. And maybe both things can be true, but yeah. Go ahead, Fabio,
So
then Ali.
so what I was going to say was, when you look up the word consciousness, and this is the thing that I've noticed, we always tend to look at it, or the majority of the people that look up the word, they look at it from the philosophical standpoint of it. They don't ever look into the neuroscience definition and how neuroscience explains consciousness and why it's separate or intertwined with the philosophical definition and how they work in unison. It's because they want it to be outside of the brain. They need consciousness to be separate from the brain in order for there to be some type of entity or something, some type of soul or something. This is
Who
the whole point of this conversation, for real.
who
At the
needs that? Who needs that? Nobody
Wait a
needs
minute.
that.
Wait a minute, Ron. I'll let you go. I'll Ali, you can go ahead, but I will say I just look up emergence on Wiki, and in the top it says in philosophy. Dang, in philosophy, systems theory, science, and art. Okay. So again, this overlapping word is just not emergence in philosophy, it's emergence in science too. You get that?
That's right. Yep. Good point.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ali.
All right. Well, as I told y'all earlier, that I'm on the side that the mind emerges. I do believe that, but that's just what my opinion, and everybody has their opinion. It is not proven that consciousness is emergent. What is fair to say is that emergence is a major and scientifically respectable hypothesis, and it fits a lot of evidence about how consciousness depends on the brain, but it is not a settled proof in the strong philosophical sense. The consciousness is strongly correlated with brain organization and brain state. We know this. We understand all that, but emergent itself is a philosophical framework, not a finished discovery of what y'all trying to say about consciousness. Now, like I told y'all, remember, I'm on the side of emergence, but we have to be fair when we talking about these things if we're going to do all of this critiquing and stuff that we talking about. Because to
So
say
what are you
that
saying?
I'm
Conscious
saying
is
that
not emergent property? Is that what you're saying?
It's
no, that's not what I'm
semantics.
saying.
It's a
That's
word
not what I'm
argument.
saying. I
Because
It's a word argument.
I
wait,
actually said it, and I'm gonna say it
weak
again.
weak
If you
and
let me finish,
strong
ma'am, can I
emergence
finish? That's so
are
rude. That's so
faith
rude.
and science.
That's so rude.
Weak emergences
So rude.
are proven by
That's so
science, and
rude.
strong
That's
emergences
so rude.
are not.
It doesn't mean that consciousness is proven to be
He
emergent,
doesn't want to be wrong.
even though we
If
all
it's
have the opinion that it
emergent,
is,
if
it's a
it's
philosophical
emergent,
framework
it's
about
not.
emergent, and it isn't proven yet. So
Correct.
I'm
It's
gonna go
not
ahead and
proven.
leave.
It's not proven.
Because y'all not
It's
That's what
it's not
trying
emergent
to
proven.
overtalk me.
means.
Thank
You're
y'all
not
for y'all not.
listening,
Thank
bro.
y'all for y'all not. You're not
Emergent
listening,
doesn't
ma'am.
mean it's
You're not
proving.
listening, ma'am.
Nigga,
She's
you
she's
not
oh
listening.
she's
You
listening.
not
She's
Emergence
listening.
listening.
is not proven though. It's
I said it wasn't.
emergent. It's
I said
new.
it's not proven.
So when did we say it was proven though?
Cedric said it was
You having
proven.
an argument by
When you
yourself.
said, when you said,
Cedric said it was
when
proven.
you said, ma'am,
Wait a minute,
and
let me-
Cedric, but when you said, ma'am, that you only go by scientific proofs and that the science says that it is emergent. So that's why you say it's emergent. That's what
What
you
is
said, ma'am.
emergent? What is
Cedric
emergent?
said that. Cedric said it
Consciousness.
was
Wait a
proven.
minute. Stop. So I never said it was proven though.
Oh,
Cedric
okay.
said it
then.
was proven.
Talking
Okay.
about you
Okay.
confusing the
That's what you
conversation.
said.
So
No,
now,
that's what you said.
since everybody
Oh,
had
I
their
didn't.
run, I
I
put
didn't.
myself on the big screen for a
Go
reason.
ahead. You can put
I'm gonna
yourself
put
back on the
myself back up on the big screen.
Go
Don't
ahead.
move
Go
my
ahead.
game, cause you're flim flamming at this point, my brother. And that's why I engage with set talks. Y'all need to watch. We are right now in the philosophy of mind, and the
Yeah.
philosophy of mind
Yeah.
takes us through these philosophical ideas because we had nothing to ground it, right? Now, why was there philosophy of mind? Because of a natural phenomena. I observe a third party and I see them as a singular unit. But when I observe myself, I see the body as something that I possess. There is this, so there's the appearance of the ghost in the machine. We went through all those philosophical thoughts. Why dualism and substance dualism was a philosophical concept. We went through all of this. Within the modern framework, consciousness is seen as an emergent property of mind, of brain. And what does that emergence mean? It has a philosophical component which explains what emergent means. Philosophy just grounds certain realities. Emergence is a wall from bricks, mortar, and sand. Those components on their own do not represent or produce a wall, but when they are put together, what emerges is a wall. A university is an emergent property of building, students, pop, 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 pop. These components together produce that thing, what we call a university. A university is all these components together. The mind is an emergent property of matter. How do we support this position today? When you deal with the philosophy of mind, you are now going to attempt to verify these things empirically. And that's where the philosophy of science comes in. And then this emergentism is represented by neuroscience. Again, we have now gained the ability to actually map and reproduce the areas of the brain that spark and light up when we engage in particular activities. We are redefining now how we had these groupings that this particular region does this particular region does that, memory is stored there. These positions are now being overturned. We see that there is no particular one region that holds memory. We see that language is different areas light up than when you're actually singing. And this is evident in people who have, for example, brain damage from strokes. You can sing, but you can't speak. You can't articulate one word, but you can sing a song because now we understand these are different areas of the brain that are actively engaged. So now, yes, emergentism, that philosophical component, has verifiable hard data supporting that philosophical position. Do philosophical positions ever get proven true? That is not the objective. They represent reality when it conforms to reality. So, as a matter of fact, neuroscience and clinical psychology are demonstrating emergentism as an actuality. What the problem is, the only philosophical problem that remains, is qualia, the hard problem of consciousness. And again, Juju alluded to determinism. And determinism, and if you understand epigenetics, that is not even a question within empiricism to date. It is only a question within philosophy. Y'all
Right.
need to knock it off and stop the BS.
Cedric, you're not
Exactly.
right.
Okay,
What you're
real
saying is
quick,
not correct.
real
Okay.
You're
quick.
right.
Let me
Exist.
let me
Hard
let me
What
let
Cedric just
me
said is not
clear
correct.
something up. So I think I may have said emergent properties of consciousness instead of the mind.
Ooh,
Hello? Juju
hello.
left?
She gone? Hey, check this out. Before she come back with that, like I said, I know that emergence things do emerge. What we talking about is
Who am I
consciousness
still off?
as
Sorry.
That was God. Go ahead. Let Ali the owl finish.
it's O Lee. O Lee. OLEE. O Lee. Okay.
Ali.
As I said, somebody mad. Yeah,
Ali.
things do emerge. We know that things emerge. Thank you for saying that, said. I agree with all that. And in fact, as I said, I agree that consciousness emerge. However, consciousness as proven fact of emergence, not that things emerge, but consciousness, this specific consciousness, is not proven. What's proven is dependence and correlation on things that we see within reality. Not proven. What they haven't proven is that correlation settles the metaphysical and the philosophical questions that started the science that y'all talking about. Emergence is strong exploratory hypothesis, but it's not the final demonstration. And as I said, I agree that the mind emerges, but we're still trying to find out if it's proven 100% for sure.
You mean
And
consciousness?
I'm gonna let him know.
Science proven 100% for sure. Huh?
I
That's
just
not.
told you.
Yeah, consciousness. Yeah.
But I just told you.
I'm
Wait,
good.
wait. If you look it up, small emergence is proven in science. I just told you that. Now, if you're confusing that, me saying that other things are proven, no, I'm just giving you the definition. You saying that emergent was philosophical. It's not just philosophical. I read the wiki definition for you. So I don't know if you're confused, but yeah.
I think you're
Can I
confused.
say something real quick? Because
If,
this is getting
In fact,
crazy.
I know you're confused because you just said
wait.
you don't know if I'm confused, so you
Come on.
confused.
Come on,
Wait,
guys. Come on.
if Ali is confused, put a 1. If Juju's confused, put a 2. We'll
My
let
name
the
is
chat
Oli,
figure it
guys.
out.
You
Hold
can
on,
tell she
Oli.
confused because
Hold
I
on,
told her my name
Okay,
was Oli and she keeps saying
Oli.
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 This is so
Oli,
disrespectful to be
Ali,
such
whatever your name
okay,
is.
intelligent
okay.
panel
Oli, Ali,
to get
whatever your
mad
name
just
is.
because
Can
I'm
you hold
telling
on a
y'all that
second? Because this is so crazy.
I know
So
it is.
here's the evidence. This perspective is supported by evidence that manipulating, damaging, or altering specific brain networks directly changes or removes conscious experience, such as entering a coma or losing specific sensory awareness. So again,
Just
as
as I
you
said.
just hold up,
Just as I said.
Don't.
chill.
Go
I
ahead,
did not
Xavier.
interrupt
Go
you,
ahead,
bro.
Xavier. Go ahead,
So
Xavier.
it's so simple. So again, if you're agreeing, the only thing you're trying to argue about is the hard problem of consciousness, which said Jessica stated. So what you're trying to argue about is this simple concept that are you you? And how do you know you're you? The hard problem of consciousness.
That's not my argument. My argument is whether it's emergent or not.
That's not anybody's argument. He just made that up.
Okay.
And just like you said, what's proven in those scientific
Y'all
things
trying
Science
that
to
you're just
don't
talking
prove
about,
nothing.
the
First of
ball.
all,
that's the
But
first of
neuroscience.
they're
all,
trying to
you
mix
don't you're
panpsychism,
talking about science when
IIT,
and you're
and
making
this is
all the cardinal mistakes, which
Everybody can talk.
illustrates your
Cedric
ignorance
talked
to
over
science.
the top.
Okay, Oli, you're illustrating your ignorance to science. First of all, you're talking about proof. Science demonstrate by means of evidence. So we have the evidence to corroborate the hypothesis of emergence, of mind being emergent from brain. Sabio just gave you the evidence. I explained you how science is actually engaging in physicalism to prove or to demonstrate mind emergent from matter, right?
Mind or consciousness? We're
Just like
talking
just as you
consciousness.
just said,
No,
they're
stop,
still
stop,
trying to
stop,
prove it. They're
stop,
still trying to prove
He's
it.
stop.
You just
We
said
are
trying to have.
science demonstrates. Science doesn't prove
Let me read
anything.
something. He's trying to have a aha moment, but the
Yeah,
problem is you can't because
can't.
in neuroscience and cognitive science will keep repeating it. Bye.
Yeah.
Consciousness is widely considered an emergent property of complex brain activity. I don't
Right.
know what you want us to say, bro.
Man.
Yeah,
I'm,
that's why I
so
said.
I'm not
That's why I
gonna
said.
say it if I don't have no evidence for it, if I don't read it because I don't know any better. But I don't know what the aha moment was about. Like if we
No,
misspoke, we misspoke. Like it don't
no,
got to be an
I agree.
argument though. You
I agree
know?
that it's
Let's pray.
considered to be emergent. I agree that that's the
Head.
consensus,
You're on your
but it's
head.
not
Mm.
the proof. Nobody
Stop.
knows. Nobody knows at
Oh,
this
No.
point.
science
Well,
doesn't talk about proof.
so
Science
Nobody
demonstrate
knows.
causality, bro.
facts, science demonstrates, and like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
you got weak emergence and strong emergence in science. You can go read on that yourself. I could have messed that up, but usually
yeah.
weak emergence can be proven. Go ahead, Gullah.
At this
No,
point in the
no, I don't say. I don't say. Dude, didn't get it because see it out. You know what I'm saying? He don't got that much brain maturity. His bigger than his brain.
He could have picked like a whale. Don't they have like the biggest brains or something?
Yeah,
Elephant
they
Maybe
could
an
have.
got yeah,
elephant or something.
Yeah,
But
elephant. They're
but
really smart.
but
yeah,
but
Orca.
again,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
I'm an orca. That's my spirit animal. They hella smart. They play with
yeah,
their food before they eat it. You feel me? Like
yeah.
shit.
And they got a very complex and a very huge cerebral cortex.
Yeah. Facts.
he needs to
So
become a hawk.
gotcha, Vasa. So I'm just saying, like, Oli, you're welcome back. You know, but
Out.
if I misspoke, I misspoke. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
David Chalmers. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Julie.
I'm very careful though, and I don't mind admitting that I'm wrong, but you can't put words in my mouth. You feel me? Because as we talking, believe I'm gonna look it up. And I don't think I ever said that consciousness was proven. If y'all heard me said that, then my apologies. But I don't, yeah,
So empirically and proven are not two words that go together. We demonstrate empiricism. And
yeah.
again,
With
that demonstration is done by neuroscience and clinical psychology. We actually map awareness. Think about your grandma. How was she like? Tell me the story. And we can actually via MRIs now actively map that brain activity. The correlation which we were assuming before, as these correlations are now being demonstrated. The philosophical positions, and stay tuned to Monday. We got back into the philosophy of mind, the third episode. We are going to be dealing with the hard problem of consciousness and David Chalmers' position. Again, when you contrast that to Robert Sapolsky's work, which is actually done
yeah,
work
we ain't talked about him
on
in a while.
philosophy,
Yep,
we
yep, yep,
did
yep.
the
Hoffman's
work,
work.
we
Hoffman's work.
understand Chalmers' philosophical position, which is a valid one when you ask me how would a bat experience reality. I don't know. Don't have sonar. I can't be aware of his awareness.
Right.
Qualia, the redness of red and how I experience that. If you understand epigenetics and you are rooted in determinism, that philosophical question vanishes, it evaporates. But within the realm of philosophy, the hard problem of consciousness, qualia, is still a question mark. Contrast that to empiricism, it is not a thing.
Yeah,
We understand individualisms, we understand epigenetics, we understand the nurture nature factor. We understand how nutrition and your environment is going to shape your experience, the redness of your red versus the redness of my red. We understand that. But philosophically, the hard problem, David Chalmers, is actuality. Combine that or contrast that with physicalism, empiricism, a philosophical branch, empiricism. What does empiricism produce? The scientific method. What does the scientific method do? Gives you neuroscience and clinical psychology. What does that do? It provides you with the data, it provides us with the evidence to demonstrate the causality between mind and matter. The dualism is effectively dead.
Yeah, it's like
Cedric, nobody's saying that
this
you,
is like with the like what you said with the orcas and whatever. Like you get to the philosophical stuff, like that's why I said a lot of this stuff be real human centric. We don't know, we don't even know what other creatures, say have in their brain and what they're, what I'm saying,
yeah.
self awareness and what I'm saying, what I'm saying, like they don't have to be human or whatever. What I'm saying? Like shoot, where it was like the orcas, some orcas, it was an orca that was researching what I'm saying, reported that like the orca they literally wore like a pink salmon on like the top of their head, like what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
These
other ones, other ones start doing it. Like other ones start doing it as like a little swag or whatever. It's crazy.
Cedric, you were talking about the mapping of
Point,
the brain, and
Rock
because of all
Barrett,
hard
these different sensations
guy.
and things.
go ahead next. Go
I'm
ahead,
just
Ron.
trying to I'm
Barrett
just
is
trying to
next.
understand. Nobody's saying that you don't see different areas of the brain light up based off of different type of stimulus. Nobody's denying that. That's proven. That correlation, making those correlations about those things that happen, does not prove that consciousness is emergent. It only proves
No,
that
it
the brain
demonstrates it. It
lines up.
demonstrates. It demonstrates it.
It
It
doesn't demonstrate that it's
demonstrates your
emergent. It
awareness.
only
It
demonstrates
demonstrates. It
that when you see
demonstrates.
a
It
picture
demonstrates.
of
Neuroscience demonstrates, for example, the areas of my brain that are engaged when my mind is recalling my grandma. We can
yeah,
map these areas, right? So what we demonstrate the correlation between mind, the emergent property, what it produces, when it produces it, via the brain, and how it
that doesn't
produces
prove
it via the
emergence at
brain.
all.
We demonstrated back in the 1800s, late 1800s, that if you damage the brain, you alter the ego of the individual. The individual's nature is actually altered by physically damaging the brain. Before that, the French materialists realized that when he gets sick, he gets a fever, he gets delirium, and his consciousness, his awareness evades him. He becomes delusional. When he regains his health, his awareness of self and who he actually is returns. That was the first indication that the mind is produced by a physical interaction with the body. How precisely, we did not know. Dualism remained an actuality because there was no way to demonstrate that relationship between mind and brain. That emergence was not able to be demonstrated. Neuroscience demonstrates. Science provides evidence for its hypotheses. Science is not engaging in proof.
I don't know how niggas made it this far in life.
Yeah, I
By
wonder the
being
same thing.
irrational.
I wonder the same thing. But again, that doesn't prove that
Low.
consciousness is emergent.
Stop.
You
Go back.
understand what I'm saying?
No.
Consciousness. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Cedric.
He
So
doesn't know. Gonna need.
consciousness. We're talking about the fundamental idea of consciousness, and people wouldn't be studying
No,
this if they
you
knew the
keep
answer. They wouldn't be
interjecting
studying
this
this.
thing fundamental thing, right? But you're interjecting that arbitrarily. You keep interjecting that arbitrarily. That's a supernatural or a metaphysical assertion. There is nothing grounding that proposition. All ontological evidence we have of what is awareness in its varying degrees, including self awareness, is a physical and biological agent that is demonstrating this.
Rocks are
Outside of biological agents, we do not have any ontological premise. We do not see nature operating with agency. It operates causal based on the four fundamental laws. There is nothing to support this position that you keep interjecting. That's why it is dismissed with the same vigor. There is nothing to support it. It is arbitrary and thus has no role in the conversation. You keep wanting to do so, but you yourself can't substantiate what you're going to say. So you keep on this hamster wheel asking the
No,
same question because it is open-ended and
I'm not saying the same thing.
unfalsifiable.
You're saying that Hoffman's
are
work is
conscious, you
dismissed
guys.
out of
I
hand,
want you to
and
understand
that's just simply not true.
rocks are
That's simply
conscious.
not true. Who's
Rocks are
talking about
No,
rocks being conscious?
your arbitrary assertion of fundamentality at this point in the conversation is
My assertion
arbitrary,
or
and
his assertion?
you cannot support it with any evidence. What you're going to bring is a mathematical theorem that is an abstraction where you have no evidence to support it. Everything you're going to bring is arbitrary. I can make up a theorem tomorrow if I studied maths long enough. I
That's
can do
that's
that.
why he's studying
It
it. That's why
doesn't
he's studying it.
mean that it is grounded in reality.
He
So math is
says
a tool used to demonstrate or support actuality.
yeah.
However, it is also an abstraction. So you can make up anything once it is balanced. A
So
mathematical
so let's agree.
theorem,
Let's agree
when
that
we say
Hoffman is a scientist.
mathematical theorem, when from the moment you hear theorem, you know that is an abstraction and it's not supported by any physical evidence because then it's not called a
I mean,
theorem. It is
why is it? I mean,
actually
there's no problem.
part of a scientific
Yeah.
theory. So you keep interjecting these terms demonstrating your ignorance to the subject matter. Learn what these terms mean, Ron. Use them correctly, and maybe you can come to some understanding. But what you're doing at this point is demonstrating your ignorance.
No, what I'm doing is demonstrating that you keep trying to change the goalposts. First you said that consciousness was proven
Yes,
to be emergent.
It is
First you
demonstrated
said
by
it was
means of
proven.
neuroscience. Science don't prove anything.
That
Science
you said it
demonstrates.
though.
So
You
we
said
have,
that.
and I'm keep repeating myself over and over. So repeat this one. Science demonstrates causality by means of neuroscience and clinical psychology. That's what I'm saying. We have causal agency to demonstrate emergence. So emergence is a hypothesis, and now we have the evidence to demonstrate that causal relationship.
It does not.
Say it.
You can look anywhere
Repeat
in
after me. Repeat
neuroscience
after me.
and ask the
Repeat after me.
question. Ask
Repeat
the
after me.
question: Is
Repeat
consciousness
after me.
emergent? Yes or no?
Neuroscience demonstrates causal relationship between mind and brain.
Does that mean that consciousness is emergent though?
Say it again. Say it again. Say it
Does it
again.
mean that?
Mind
No, I'm asking a
and
question.
mind
I
is
hear what you're saying,
emergent from brain.
but
Say it
does
with
it
me.
prove that consciousness
Mind,
is
say
emergent?
it,
Yes or
say it.
no?
It demonstrates it. Say it. It
I know, but
demonstrates
is
it.
it? Does that
It
show? Does
demonstrates
that
it.
show that
So
it's emergent?
when it
Yes or no?
demonstrates it, yes, it demonstrates it. It actually demonstrates the mechanism. It shows
Nobody's
what.
gonna agree. Nobody's gonna agree with you.
No, look up what neuroscience does.
Mm.
Yeah,
At this
that's
point, he
why
just
that's why too neuroscience overlaps with biology. You know what I'm saying? Like like in a lot of these studies.
at this point, this is an argument from incredulity.
Yeah,
Incredulity.
incredulity.
Drooly.
He
Julie.
misappropriates terms.
Get it
He's
right. Get it
completely
right,
ignorant
Fabio.
to
Get it
the
right.
scientific
Oh, I
method.
Uh,
know it. I
you
just
He's
can ask.
asking
You
for
can,
it's so
science to do
funny.
what
maybe
it
maybe you
doesn't.
know what it is, but you just certainly can't say it. But
I
anyway,
can I say it very well.
anyway, anyway,
Frustrating.
ask 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 Chat GPT one of your favorite tools.
I
Ask
don't use chat
if it's
GPT.
emergent.
That is the
You've been
regular
reading
Google.
from it all evening.
No, I haven't. I
Ask
actually haven't.
ask it.
I've been
Just
reading
ask
from
it if it's
Google.
emergent,
Ask,
yes or
ask,
I've
no.
been
ask,
reading.
ask your
I've been
chat
reading
GPT
from Google.
Ask if
what
it's proven to be.
neuroscience does.
I
Is it?
and it
It's very
just body
simple.
slammed you. I've been reading from Google, not Chat
Yeah.
GPT.
Well, ask Google if it's
Sorry,
emergent. Ask it if consciousness is emergent. Yes, or has been proven to
it
be.
just body slammed you.
Yes or
It
no.
showed you that it was. It
No,
showed you
it
that
hasn't. It
through
didn't say that it was.
neuroscience, the evidence is what was the evidence? That if you injure a part or remove a part of the brain, personalities and memories and things changes. Body slam.
You're talking about correlation. Correlation doesn't
No,
is not an
and this is
explanation for
dumb.
something.
You at this point you
Correlation
just
doesn't
want to
mean
argue.
causation.
You this lets me know you barely made it past the 11th grade.
I
Barely.
agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. But 11th grade is higher than what third grade. But anyway,
I actually graduated from college
Ron
yeah,
and
is hilarious.
you're the guy. You're the guy.
Ah,
You're the guy who told me you
graduated.
passed the SAT.
I actually
You're the guy who told me
graduated
you
from
passed the
college and high
SAT.
school. I actually graduated from college and high
I
school. That's
understand,
why I
but then you
can
tell me you passed
understand
the
these
SAT.
concepts. That's why I can understand these concepts
I was gonna
better than
say, who passes the SAT besides you?
me.
But anyway,
Me.
anyway, you can look anywhere online, it will show you
And
that
you passed it.
consciousness, conscious, whether consciousness is emergent has not been proven. You guys are talking about correlation. Correlation is not an explanation, nor does it equal causation. You guys, I'm flabbergasted
We keep saying
for
science
such
don't prove.
scientific literate people to try to push
But,
this
but
notion
science
that it's
don't
been.
prove. But like science don't prove anything, yo.
Mhm.
You keep saying prove.
But you keep saying that it's emergent as if it's a fact, and it's not a fact.
No, we're showing that it showed from the
Correlation.
evidence and the science and the testing that it emerges from brain activity.
Exactly.
The
Evidence.
consciousness.
Bingo.
Yes. Yes.
Bingo.
No,
It's
Bingo.
biological. It's
no,
biological.
that's what I'm saying.
It's a biological phenomenon, yo.
If what you're saying again, I don't disagree that you can show where parts of the brain map lights up under MRI testing. You can see. I mean, that's known. That's been known for quite a while, but it has nothing to do with whether or not consciousness is emergent or not. Has nothing to do with that. There's no explanation around
Okay,
that.
so so at this point, rocks are conscious. I'm standing on it.
I mean, if you want to believe that, you can.
Stars, the
You can
moon,
you can believe all that if you want
they're
to. That's your
conscious.
business. That's your
Nope.
business. I wouldn't agree
You're the
with
one.
you.
You're
I
the
wouldn't
one.
agree
You're
with
the
you.
one.
I don't think anybody on the panel would agree with you. But
You're the one. You're the one that's saying that you don't need a brain and it doesn't
I never
emerge
said that.
from. You're the one. You're the one that's arguing
One of the
that
biggest queries in
No,
cognitive
not
that's not an
science is
argument at
the
all.
emergence of
I'm saying that
brain.
consciousness from
consciousness is
matter.
fundamental.
Modern neurobiological theories of consciousness propose that conscious experience is the result of interaction between large-scale neurological networks in the brain, traditionally described within the realm of classical physics. Here, we propose a generalized connectionist framework in which the emergence of conscious networks is not exclusive of large brain areas but can be identified in subnuclear networks exhibiting non-trivial quantum phenomena. The essential feature of such networks is the existence of strong correlation in the system, classical or quantum coherence, and the presence of an optimal point at which the system complexity and energy necessitates are maximized, whereas free energy is minimized. This is expressed either by maximization of the information content in large scale functional networks or by achieving optimal efficiency through the quantum Goldilocks effect. Does PubMed satisfy your
Body
query?
slam.
You,
Body slam.
I think I'm good.
No, say it again, because I was reading
I
something.
think I'm good.
Good,
I think
saying
this
that
is hard
that
science
this
here.
proves.
The,
I listen. I never. You guys are saying that you guys
this is
that
an
statement did
actual.
not say that it's emergent.
Are you
It
looking?
says that that is a consensus, but it doesn't say that this is proof. I mean, you guys.
Ron, at this point, I just gonna laugh. At
I
this
mean,
point,
you can
then
laugh if you want
sure,
to. That's
Ron.
fine.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, that's okay. I'd rather have you laughing
At
than
this point,
cussing.
at this
I'd
point,
rather have
I
you
just
laughing
gonna
than
laugh
cussing.
at you
So keep laughing.
because
Keep
all you
laughing.
sound like is Snoopy at this point. Wah 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 wah
Yeah, I
wah
understand.
wah.
Keep laughing. I'd rather have you laughing than cussing. I think the audience would too. So you're saying you still haven't shown.
Summarizing, we identified two types of quantum correlations in subcellular neurons that could, in principle, be related to cognition and conscious experience. The
Good in
first
principle.
is quantum coherence between adjacent structures, such as microtubule and other cytoskeleton structures, leading to coordinated activity within neurons. The second is a whole brain or at least macroscopic correlations between entangled atoms within molecules, in turn leading to a cascade of events synchronizing neural activity. To our knowledge, there is little, if no, experimental evidence that any of these processes are directly related to cognition or consciousness. And for now, they rely on hypothetical thinking or indirect evidence. Such indirect evidence comes from the field of quantum biology, and in particular for photosynthetic light harvesting complexities, where both quantum coherence and entanglement have been demonstrated. For an important clue to understanding the possible importance of quantum effect in cognitions comes from the effect of noise in biological tissue, and in particular the effect of noise on information processing. As we explained above, conscious states tend to appear at intermediate levels of noise and correlation in functional networks. At first sight, it seems paradoxical that consciousness is achieved at intermediate levels of noise. Indeed, normally noise is considered as a hindrance for information processing systems and devices. However, there are instances where noise can be beneficial in biological systems, especially in information processing in the nervous system, where it can even enhance neural processing. I mean, there is no need for me to read anymore once we are talking about how these correlations are demonstrated.
Nobody's disagreeing with the correlation. Cedric, look. I've said this many times before that I understand that the dominant scientific assumption is that
Dun, dun, dun,
consciousness
dun,
arises from brain processes,
dun,
as you've been
dun,
saying the
dun,
whole time.
dun, 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 dun,
But there
dun,
is no
dun, dun,
definitive proof around
dun,
this.
dun, dun,
There's no
dun.
definitive proof of
Well,
how
do
exactly consciousness originates or whether it's
you
ultimately
understand what Hume
emergent or
said?
not.
Did
There's
you
no proof
understand
around it.
Hume's philosophical position? Do
It's
you
not a
understand
philosophical.
how science works? Do you understand?
Hoffman is not
Do
a
you understand? Do
philosopher.
you
He's a
understand?
scientist.
You are asking me for certainty. No, I didn't ask you anything about Hoffman. My God, you are stuck. At
I'm not
some
stuck.
point, you will have to
You keep
take
talking
your
about
head out
philosophy. I
of
thought
there.
we were talking about
You will
science.
someday, you are going to have to take your head out of there. It
You,
must not be comfortable to have your
you don't
head
you
so
don't you
far up
don't
one man's
understand. You don't
ass.
understand. You were talking about science. Now you jumped to
I really don't
philosophy.
understand how hard it is. I do not understand how hard it is to have my head up one man's ass. You are right. I have no idea. it would be impossible for me to maintain one position by worshiping one man and
It's not
ignorant
worship.
to the man's
I
actual
just think
own
I just think
position.
he has. I think he
Yes,
has a
at this
valid
point,
position.
if I ask you,
I think it's valid.
do you understand Hume's philosophical position and how it relates to science? And you start with Andy Hoffman. That means your head is up this man's rear end to the point that you can't hear anything
I admire
but
his
his
position.
thoughts.
That's for sure. I admire his position.
We understand how far up his ass your head is. At this point, that's clear.
If
But
you're
if
saying
I
that
ask you a
as a
question about
pejorative,
you,
if
if
you're
I
saying it's
ask you,
pejorative, then
no,
fine.
and
I'm just saying
you
the
are
guy's
proud of
position
it.
is. I think his position
Your
is valid.
worshiping state of
You
mind
can't.
would make
You
you
can't.
proud
You
of that.
can't. You're trying to
Would
argue
make you
with
proud of
this guy because he's a
it.
scientist.
However,
You know he's a
when I
scientist.
ask you about the philosophical position of Hume with regards to science, there is no need to illustrate where your head is. So, do you understand what Hume and his certainty principle brought to science? That's why science operates the way it does. Do you get that? Or is the next thing going to come out your mouth, Andy Hoffman again, demonstrating how far
It's
up his ass your
if you're
head
saying
actually is?
if
He's saying he's not
if you're
conscious.
saying that
He's not conscious at this point. That's what he's basically arguing.
no, what
Because
I'm arguing is that
yeah,
what I'm arguing is what
yeah,
we're arguing from the beginning,
yeah.
whether consciousness is emergent or
You don't
not.
have the brain
And
power to
Hume
So
and
that
making statements
exactly,
about
you
Hume.
see.
Hume
that's
doesn't
So
even
arguing.
what did he
Yeah,
just demonstrate?
Hume
What
would
did I
not
tell
disagree
you
with
he was
Hoffman.
going to do? He was going to refer straight back to Andy Hoffman. At this point, we understand where your head is. Okay.
he can't recognize that he's arguing against himself. So he's
Yeah.
not
I'm arguing
recognizing
against
that
myself.
in
I think
his
I'm
brain.
arguing.
He's
I'm
not
not arguing at
recognizing
all.
that
I'm trying to
in his
make a
brain,
point.
it's
I'm trying to
his
You're
make a
not
brain
point
arguing.
that
that
You're
nobody
makes him
obviously
understands.
not arguing.
Nobody understands where
At
consciousness
this
is
point,
coming from. Nobody
the
understands where it's
only thing
coming
you're
from, do
able
they?
to
I
do,
said,
the
I
only thing you're
said,
able to do
You guys are acting with certainty that you know that
express
it's
the gas
emergent, and
that
I'm
is
saying that the
coming out of
science
your
is
I
not
know
mouth
that
right
there.
now.
I'm
The gas
arguing with
that is
somebody
coming out
who
of
is
your mouth
conscious.
right now is because of where your head actually is. That's the only thing on display at
I,
this present.
I said, I come to the conclusion that philosophy is the God, it's the God creator. Philosophy
Philosophy
is
is
the
a
God
God
creator.
creator.
Yeah,
Yep.
the God
Yeah,
creator.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Explain
The,
that.
These,
the,
these
Now
guys
the
sit
philosophy
behind
is
wondering,
the
not
the
concrete wall.
wondering,
They
the
have
wondering.
reasoning.
Let's talk about consciousness. Let's not talk about God and stuff like
Nah,
that.
I mean,
Yeah, but you gotta create it.
That's
You
way
gotta
off
create
point.
it.
we just ended the conversation on consciousness. That conversation is
Why?
over.
It's not over. It's only over
Yeah,
because
it is over.
you don't want
And
to admit.
trust me, it is over.
Trust
Rahan
you.
and you don't want to test if it's over. At this point, the conversation is over. After what I just read, the conversation is over. And
Yeah,
you're going to have to agree that it's over. Otherwise, there are consequences if you disagree.
I mean,
yeah,
Disagree that the
if we're not talking
conversation
about
is over.
consciousness, I guess the whole show is over then, right?
yeah.
No, no,
The whole show
no.
must be over.
Your interjection into the
unless
conversation is now over because
if we're not talking about an organism that you can track back its taxon to a particular ancestor, we're not talking about consciousness at all. Because the consciousness comes in that casing.
yep.
Say it
So
again.
outside of that, you're not talking about.
Say it
No,
again,
we don't
Gullo.
need to say it again. No, we don't need to say it again because you obviously weren't listening.
Why
So
didn't? No,
you're
I
absolutely
couldn't
right.
understand it.
Consciousness is a biological enterprise. Without biology, there is no consciousness. So to assert that consciousness is anything more than a biological agent, then hey, at this point, the argument is over. We understand pretty much what emergentism is and how it is being demonstrated within the field of neuroscience. The
Yeah,
correlation with memory, the correlation with identity. We demonstrated that the physical characteristics of the brain, once damaged, can affect the you, the personality. All
yeah,
these have been demonstrated. There is no reason to even consider awareness being something outside of a physical brain. The
yeah,
question mark for the longest while was how does the brain
yeah.
do this?
How do
And
it?
those questions are being answered by means of neuroscience. So,
Yeah,
all
because whatever it is, whatever it is, it's for survival. You know what I'm saying? Like even when you get into sentience, you get complexity even in sentience. You know what I'm saying? Like certain trees even have certain communication systems through mosses. Even certain fungi. You know what I'm saying? The fungi that can go into like ants. You know what I'm saying? To manipulate them to go up to high places, kind of like make the ants like kind of like zombies. You know what I'm saying? Even like certain, you know what I'm saying, parasites, stuff like that. Even certain sentient things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, have its own complexities. So whatever this consciousness is, it's a byproduct and casing of biology and evolution.
Well, I would
Ron,
recommend you guys go
You
back and
got the floor to
read
close out,
Hoffman's works.
and show
Read
us
his
how
works.
far.
Read his
Show
works so
us
you
how
understand
far.
it better, and then you come to a different.
Ron. Wait till I give you the floor, Ron. See where you are, Ron. It's just a matter of me giving you the floor, and then you get to speak, Ron. It's just that simple, Ron. But I know it's hard for you to hear anything because of where your head is. Go and demonstrate to everyone where your head is, because we're closing out, Ron. Go ahead. Tell us about Andy Hoffman. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Show
not
us where
Andy.
your
It's
head is.
Donald. It's Donald Hoffman. It's not Andy Hoffman.
Whatever, Ron.
So clearly you don't know.
It's not
Clearly
where
you've
my
not
head is.
heard the guy's
My
work.
head
So
is
you
my
don't know
head
the
is
guy's
not up.
work.
My
But
head is not up anywhere. But go ahead.
I sincerely would like for you guys to go back and read his work so you can understand.
Okay, now that's enough, Ron. Okay, you had your chance. You had your chance. Good. Yeah, do but see, Ron, I'm
Yeah.
a
The type of consciousness he's talking about is cartoon. He want the cartoon consciousness. He want the tree
yeah.
to have a face and talk to him and all that. You know? He want the daffodils to sing to him.
These,
That's why I
these,
think Rocket
y'all think
Conscious.
you can work on my nerve while I got the buttons. Like, bruh, I'm a clown, y'all. Like, y'all don't. I'm disrespectful like that.
Said,
Like just like that. I'm gonna give you the floor. You're gonna try to say something stupid. Boom, look, boom, you're gone. No, I don't want to hear nothing about Andy Hoffman again. Said he
said
had
that's why
set
I've
it
been
up for
saying Rocket
Andy Hoffman.
Conscious
He trying to
because
create a God. He trying to create a God. He trying to create some type of supernatural reality. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he's doing. When you
they don't understand, but when you do
when you
that,
get
you
into
positive
philosophy,
dualism.
philosophy is the gateway of human exceptionalism and creating some type of damn anthropomorphic damn being. Philosophy
Yeah,
is the gateway. Philosophy is the gateway to that
nah,
shit.
nah.
gateway drug.
Philosophy developed
Philosophy,
with
even in philosophy and science got us saying we ain't monkeys and we ain't simians. How about that? Because you want to be special.
But yeah, man, that's why I kept saying rocks are conscious, y'all. That's exactly why I kept saying it because rocks are conscious, and so that if rocks are conscious, that means the stars and all the things because that's where carbon comes from. So see, this is the argument. If all the elements that create life come from stars, then that means they're
Pseudo
conscious. Come on. So that means the
Come
universe
on,
is
man.
conscious. I've
Anthony,
already heard it.
Anthony, got anything to say, man? I'm ready to get up out of here.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been good, dog. I appreciate everybody coming through both shows. Y'all make sure y'all go back and check out the Chimp Wars from yesterday. All the shows, Said Talk. I think Mac Rob will be coming up here pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot going on. Me and Juju, we gonna get into put together a show on a nice source that she found that could lead to us, build on our understanding of the Big Bang and, what happened before and all that good stuff. But I'm gonna say this, and then we gonna give it back to Said. I much rather deal with questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. Peace.
God,
We need to
D.
quit welling
Savior,
on.
any last words, man, before we get
Yeah,
out of here?
I'm gonna quit welling on niggas. I know I'm 175 pounds, but I throw this weight around like I'm 350. My bad. Quit welling on niggas.
Gullo?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm responding to the comment as I go out, yo. I know you can be godless and still be a philosophy, but the philosophy is the gateway to that spooky shit. Period.
Yes, sir.
It's the gateway to the metaphysics, the talking, all that shit, the human specialty shit. You know, you want to be a special human. We ain't shit. We ain't nothing but animals, just like the other ones. We just got complexity. You know what I'm saying? Cerebral cortex. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
That's all.
and whatever it is, it's in the casing of biology. That's why neuroscience and biology works together. The fields work together to get to come to the answers.
Yeah, y'all try to confuse philosophy and science. We are too grounded to do that. The flim flam doesn't work. Come on, man. But I'm gonna say this: it was a fun hit the button show. Thank y'all for showing up. Everyone that was here, Gary, Pseudo Killer Army, appreciate you being in the building. Anthony, Pseudo Killer Official. Y'all need to check out the Chimp Wars, man, with Gullah. That was one of the best shows. That needs an award for a YouTube presentation, man. That was an awesome show. Go check that out. Subscribe to the God Killer, the community of skeptics. Subscribe to the Pseudo Killers. Join the Pseudo Killers army. Get in the Discord. We'll be back tomorrow again sometime, and a Sunday for sure. The two shows, the Sunday school, and we back in back. Stay tuned to more philosophy of mind as we continue to unravel and dissect these concepts over there in Said Talks. Next week, Monday again, we'll be getting back to the third episode. Stay tuned. I'm having my book reviewed and checked out, and that will be coming to y'all soon for purchase. It's the deconstruction of the ghost in the machine. We take you to the philosophical concepts, get you grounded, and of course, show you how to apply the rubric of methodological naturalism to dissect these pseudo claims being made all around us. With that, I'm gonna take y'all out with this one. Thank y'all again for being in the building. We out of here.
What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie. A well-organized lie. It beats a disorganized truth every time. Oh, we. A pseudo gon' die, they saw a pseudo killer. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. Pseudo gon' die, they saw a pseudo killer. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. Who do you believe in? People bringing misinformation when that information ain't disinformation. That's disinformation. Gotta know the difference in information. Get information with the pseudo killer army hunting pseudo. Cause you gotta train your mind to fight against them pseudo judo. People with the scholarship salute, we give them kudos. But the people with that look of shit, we look and see straight through those like telescope. If you ain't speaking fast, we gotta tell them folks and let them know the truth. You bringing malinformation to blast, then you the Ku Klux. Like say, don't talk me to death, bro, what the proof of? Good juju chillin', why you wanna go way bad juju up? Shalom boy got the tank in the cut. I'm in Sosa world plotting on the kick though with Kent. Come in Tiffany gave me the pseudo names on the list and said went and got the low. Anthony got him in the scope, Gullah and Gozy make sure DNA ain't a problem for them folks. Cause a pseudo gon' die, they saw a pseudo killer. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. Pseudo gon' die, they saw a pseudo killer. I'm a pseudo killer, intellectual sunsling. I'm a pseudo killer.